Rich mindset vs poor mindset. How to develop a rich mindset. You're probably viewing this video because you're interested in how poor and rich people think and act differently. You probably want to adopt some of the habits of the wealthy. Well, one thing is clear. Having a rich mindset is the first step. If you want to be successful, you need to know the difference between how rich people think and how poor people think. When you look at the lives of rich people, you'll notice that they all have one thing in common: a growth mindset. Dale Carnegie said one of my all-time favorite quotes: "Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying, when there seemed to be no hope at all." Having a rich mindset is all about improving yourself and sticking with things until you get what you want. Where should you start? Knowing how the rich and the poor think. Ready to find out what sets the rich mindset apart from the poor mindset? Let's dive in. The difference between the minds of the rich and the poor. If you've spent any time on social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, you've probably seen posts about how rich people live. Some people believe the images are real, behind the scenes, though others have a lot of debt, bad credit, and no savings. The author of The Millionaire Next Door, a very popular and interesting book, has spent decades studying millionaires. Do you know what he found? Most rich people don't live in Hollywood. Most millionaires live in your neighborhood, driving that old Toyota, and using a 5-year-old iPhone. So much can be learned from these people who made a lot of money. They are business owners who have built their empires from the ground up. They are both men and women who have kept their old lifestyles while building real assets and thinking like rich people. It's important to remember that most rich people don't show off their wealth, and that's one reason why they keep getting richer. They aren't buying the newest or most expensive gadgets. Instead, they're putting money into assets. This is one of the main things that sets rich people apart from poor people. Living in luxury can be a sign of a bad way of thinking, but it is possible to get rich. And there are a lot more wealthy people than you might think. These are people who have built up their wealth in a subtle way. What is a bad mindset? On the other end of the spectrum, you have a lot of people who are stuck in a poverty mindset. Poverty and being poor are complicated. Our environment, exposure, and life experiences can keep us trapped in its cycle. It can be difficult to get past this, but you can find a way out by changing the way you think. So, what are some ways of thinking that can keep you from becoming wealthy? 1. A bad mindset thinks that things will never change. People with a poor mindset think that their circumstances are fixed, and that the best they can do is live from paycheck to paycheck. They think that there's not much they can do to change their situation. This is a big difference between the way rich and poor people think. 2. Someone with a mindset of poverty thinks they can't get through hard times. A person with habits and a poor mindset thinks that what life has thrown at them has never been seen before, and that their problems are impossible to overcome. They may also feel envy about those who are wealthy. What this person doesn't realize is that everyone goes through hard times. Oprah didn't get to where she was without facing major personal and professional challenges, and neither did the late and great Kobe Bryant. Instead, they had a wealth mentality. Keep watching. We'll talk about some habits that rich people have that set them apart from the rest. 10 habits that rich people do that you can start doing now. Now that you know the difference between having a rich mindset and a poor mindset, let's talk about specific habits you can start working on today to have a rich mindset. 1. People who are wealthy always have a plan. Before you start running, ask yourself, what do you want to achieve? Jonathan Swift was right when he said, "Vision is the art of seeing what others can't." Do you always think about making your hopes and dreams come true? Is your dream bigger than what you think you can do right now? Will what you see change your future, the future of your family, or the future of your community? If all you can see is where you are now, give yourself a challenge to make a vision. Once you do, you should know that it's not a one-time deal. Instead, it's a process that happens every day when you let your mind dream more about what's possible. The rich don't give up and keep working toward their vision and goals. This is a big difference between the way the rich think and the way the poor think. 2. Rich people have routines that get things done. Netflix, YouTube, and TikTok have been the most popular ways to have fun in recent months. Every day, millions of hours are watched. Rich people know that while it's great for them, it doesn't do much for you. Most rich people use their time better than poor people. Rich people plan their lives. They have set schedules, and they know that you don't just wake up one day and become a hard worker. When we say routine, We don't just mean getting up every day at 5 a.m. That's not even a little bit of it. Instead, we're talking about the environment that rich people live in. Rich people are careful about who they hang out with. They watch what they put into their minds. Rich people put themselves in places where they are most likely to succeed. Routines include all of these parts: time, place, and habits. For example, do you work from your bed when you need to get work done at home? Most likely, you'll get much less done. Having a set place to work will help you get much further. Basically, you should live your life so that success is inevitable. Having a routine that you can count on can help you do well. Rich people know this and make it a point to stick to the same schedule. 3. A rich mind is focused on getting results. Rich people pay attention to results. They are fully responsible because they set goals and reach them. And they aren't making routines just to show off. No one gets up at 5 a.m. so they can post about it on Instagram. No. Rich people care about the results and will do whatever it takes to reach their goals. Your life will be better just because you have routines, but they won't help your bank account in any way. Routines and focused action will get things done. So, what is the best way to get things done? Figure out what you want. When you know what you want to accomplish in the end, it will be much easier to figure out how to get there. 4. Rich people ask when they don't know something. Try to guess what makes you smart. Admitting what you don't know and knowing how to ask good questions. Rich people know this and, as part of their rich mindset, are always looking for new information. Ask smart questions to find out more when you're learning from a mentor. Learn about the problems they're facing, what they're trying to accomplish, how they plan to get there, and what they've learned from their past experiences. Rich people know that it always pays to listen. They find out about the best ways to do things, new opportunities, and possible problems and solutions. They use this skill when they are learning, negotiating, exploring, and making connections with other people. 5. People with a rich mindset don't work for money. Yes, you heard right. People who are rich work to learn. People who are poor often have to work to get their next check. This is a big difference between how the rich and the poor think. You can see it everywhere. People who are poor often have to work from paycheck to paycheck, just to get by. Rich people, on the other hand, get better at what they do and move up the ranks. If you make money your main goal, you'll always have to work for it, and you won't be able to improve your skills or earn more money. If you try to learn, you'll be well on your way to success. 6. People who are rich have mentors. Life is all about the people you know. Your network is your net worth is a phrase you've probably heard before. That's right, but that doesn't mean you should go dump your friends. Instead, it means that you need to make more friends. You can see that rich people know other people. They find stars in their field, study them, and then make that connection by taking a leap of faith. It all comes back to what you want to do. Who gives you ideas? What about them do you like? What do you want to find out about them? And that's not the end of it. A rich way of thinking is to think about how you can connect with that person. To get close to anyone in the world, you must first help them. Learn about their world and think about how you can help them. Once you've gotten to know them, they'll be much more willing to help you. 7. Rich people are always on the lookout for chances. The show Shark Tank is very interesting. Every week, a small group of entrepreneurs pitch a new idea to the sharks. Some of them are wild. Would you ever have thought that a smiley face-shaped sponge could make hundreds of millions of dollars? Or a toilet seat that makes it easier to go to the bathroom? Changing the way people do their business. This is exactly what Scrub Daddy and Squatty Potty did. Their founders were people with big ideas who saw opportunities in the ordinary things people do every day. One thing that people with a poor mindset do is not try to make things better. Rich people are always looking for ways to make things better, and there is always room for improvement, both in good and bad economies. Companies like Airbnb, Disney, Venmo, Slack, and Uber were all started during recessions in the past. Some of the best comeback stories ever happen during recessions and other times when the economy is uncertain. At times like these, the differences between how rich and poor people think becomes clear. 8. Rich people believe in abundance. In the rich versus poor way of thinking, there is usually one core belief that keeps poor people from getting ahead. It's the idea that there are only so many resources. People tend to think that if my neighbor Kate does well, there will be less room for me to do well. It can often make people angry and make them think that rich people only care about themselves. For someone with a poor attitude, there are never enough resources. Rich people, on the other hand, think there is enough for everyone. You've made it. Great. Who can do it too? Rich people know that there's enough for everyone. They don't think in terms of us against them. They strive to provide as much value to as many people as possible. That's what makes them successful. You can have everything you want in life if you just help other people get what they want, Zig Ziglar said. 9. Someone with a rich mind knows how to handle their money. Nobody is taught how to manage money from birth. Nobody is taught how to manage money from birth. Sure, some people are born into families that teach them how to handle money well, but that's not the case for most of us. Rich people know this and take care of their money in a smart way. Rich people have budgets. Someone with a lot of money has learned how to put money into the stock market. The goal of a successful person was to get out of debt. Rich people also know how to use their money to their advantage. Rich people will use it to start a business if they need to. Instead of racking up thousands of dollars in consumer debt, they borrow money to build, but they pay it back in a responsible way. 10. Rich people don't worry about failing. Rich people don't worry about failing. They don't hesitate to try new things. When they see a problem, they quickly think of ways to fix it. When it comes to money and investments, no one is always right. Sometimes, you just have to take a calculated risk. They are unconcerned about failing because they have never failed, as long as there are lessons to be learned. They are sometimes willing to take risks because they want to get better and try to be more successful. You've probably won things in the past, but before those wins, things probably didn't go as planned. When you think back on each of them, you'll see the lessons you learned that helped you get to where you are now. Think like a rich person, and you will become rich. Now you know how the rich and the poor think differently. It's not hard to get rich, but it takes time and work. You just need to start doing things that will help you get there. And you need to know the difference between a rich mindset and a poor mindset. Do things that will make you rich, not things that will make you poor. You can become a millionaire, just like many others have. You won't become wealthy overnight, but if you work hard and consistently, you'll be well on your way. So, I'll leave you with these questions. What is your goal? Where do you want to go? Who would you like to be? Now is a great time to start working toward your goals and developing a rich mindset. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe to our channel.